Enksa TV no go so share am so say na Enksa TV am so bon there in obe subscribe am me e bon e bo ko insem mu a aye ne insem ne tiawa na de ake na de atwa so am de mahu de ko so nchi na aye lawyer for adoma che na ne de otimi tina ase no odedo insem ho otimu se insem ye de acha insem ye de intimi ye de enko na nim kura ni na ne se Anas Aremeyaw na de otimi tu na de ekusi ne so na o kan se no bi o se Anas Aremeyaw nti pa se de okotina bi man so etimi de etu anu bi ye de o man so na o kan sin fini ade de etimi de efa ma ho a o se otina se dwon pan ti na etu osun yi pan ti so bitima de akoyesta bitima fini man so abetinu man so etima gugu ni kuro ni masasa ade a so otina dwon ho a emfa kwam enam we so nti a ama mafo bibre de etimi de omodjuma na moyi nyina mutimi de ilusu ye omochwehwehwe omodjuma say de na mutina fia na ye omonya eduma bia ye nanso so obo honabo Kennedy akompre ko Japan na baso yi pa say no mani bia ye utimi ye boy oman Ghana wadwen ho anu say yes honabo Kennedy akompre ko Japan na wasan ko ye de osefata so be de obe president nanso ya de fufia ntwanta enso ya de ambara sa waso what na so kai eye yura champion no mani bia ye ne breso ye de hikan ya that is in the rap we pa enti in same we are lawyer for adumache and etimi kan no ama aye Anas Aremeyaw Anas it say there obone no na so nkwan na say yo ye no ne rap wa na so ye say edibia bibia je ho kwa chance na ye nwa ye say there na Anas Aremeyaw na ne de ni mawu ase ama say there ne dwuma ye oye kura ye de ntimi ye ko ye interpretation ye Anas Aremeyaw court appeal and I say court rule Anas Aremeyaw e fan same way na ho yen community aye ba ye de ake na de e betwam so
na no cross obey I want to say so about investigation I didn't know kata so is parliament more than judiciary I didn't know show judiciary now show parliament
another arm of government
so I don't know your massa okoto ne budwe nyenya trade I will fight for justice for every person in this country and all I'm doing is that justice for all not justice in the interest of the strongest we are not in the Plato's ideal world esikafo enkwana justice ayom dia no
mamenti
so me say we back court only me fireman cashman abeja court ade tantana shwonim and any keskai the guy will remove everything for everybody to see who Anas. And yes, I'm a court. Medine ko amaya interpretations a Ghana ni ba ko pe wo ha ono de otu cover the face. Me se me the force be yi ade no wonim. Amaya dey. Se mo emrama Anas kwan se on shamas ne mra that day they will jail me. I will beat the shit out of them and take that thing out.
Okay, so that's the Kennedy Japan. But the more you listen to him, the more a lot of things run through your mind. I mean, should investigative journalists have the power to conduct an investigation and decide, I'll show this, I won't show that? And the reason why they don't show what they don't show may be for some that we may not know. Is that correct? I mean, should a journalist set out to do work, that when the work is finished, it brings opprobrium to his nation? His nation, a journalist, set out to do the work. When the work is finished, it brings opprobrium to his nation. Is that what we are doing? That Anas does the work, and when he's finished, Ghana football has collapsed for since when? 20 whatever. Ghana football is still struggling. We don't even know where we are. We now have Keto Kriku as GFA president. Everything is gone haywire because of the work Anas did. Is that, I mean, reflecting on it, is that what a journalist should be doing? Here's Kutu Achampong. He has something to say about that. Listen, Kutu Achampong, the former president who was slaughtered by J.J. Rawlings and his cohorts in 1979. This is what he said.
All of us are inside, just like people traveling on a ship. If the ship sinks, we all sink. If the ship sinks, we all sink with it. This is what most of them don't understand. They think they are outside the government. The government is a separate entity somewhere. If it is destroyed, fine. We are not saying that those who contribute articles to foreign press are not patriotic. We are not saying that. At least you can earn some foreign exchange when you go on holidays, you go to a nice hotel and enjoy yourself. What we are saying is that don't destroy your country. If you know what you are writing is wrong, don't do it, because you do your country more harm than good. And this is all the foreign press want. They don't want any developing country to come up to their standard. This you must accept. And once they can use you to destroy your own country, so much the better for them. But if any journalist continues, these people you are talking about, very soon I'll ask the Commissioner for National Affairs to read a gist of what, and the AG of what they have done. And you agree with me, some of them were given several warnings. The moment you give a warning, that warning appears on the TV, on the either BBC, or in the paper in overseas paper. So we are saying that you are free to write whatever you want to. You can criticize the government, then we will set up. But don't destroy. See, when you know what you are writing is wrong, it isn't true, and it's meant to subvert, to create disaffection, to create confusion in the country, then you are doing more harm than good. Because if the country collapses, you are within it. It doesn't collapse for me or for the colleagues. All of us are inside. Just like people traveling on a ship. If the ship sinks, we all sink. If the ship sinks, we all sink with it. This is what most of them don't understand. They think they are outside the government. The government is a separate entity somewhere. If it is destroyed, fine.
Very interesting for the man that they said he didn't know how to speak English and all. That's what we came to hear about Achampong. They made all sorts of jokes about him and all that. This is Achampong now talking like that. So that's Achampong speaking very well and a very poignant statement that he made. Now, this statement was done before Anas was born, and he's talking about people doing things that were untrue. I mean, the people who filmed the Kwesi Nyantakyi, they knew the money that Kwesi Nyantakyi was collecting was not bribe money. It was money that he was collecting to pay for the ticket that he had bought. They were aware. Anas here, he is aware that the money that was given to Mr. Nyantakyi, the football president and who was a executive member of CAF and FIFA, Anas knew that this money is not bribe money. $40,000 is not bribe money for Kwesi Nyantakyi. After all, how much does he earn at FIFA? They knew that the conversation was that this money, Mr. Nyantakyi, is for your tickets. You had bought tickets 2 times to come. He had gone with George Oponwia, bought tickets for him. He's gone there. He's the one at some point is talking about. That's my own matter with Anas. Nothing to the case. I'm now going to go on to the case. So let's set it up. All right. So this is Kennedy Japan then gets angry with some of this information and then goes to court. Let me have Kennedy Japan. Okay, so let me just give the story. I'll roll over that one. Kennedy gets upset with all of these stories and then decides that he's going to investigate Aremeyaw Anas. So he goes into Anas's stable and is able to get somebody out of that stable and ask him that, what do you people do? The guy is quite unhappy with somehow treatment is being meted to him with Anas because he's not making money, whatever. He thinks Anas has so much money and they who work for him don't have anything, blah, 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 blah. So he decides to talk to Kennedy Japan. Then he tells Kennedy, oh, these are the things we do, these are some of the things we do. Kennedy is buoyed in his anger and decides that he's going to spend his own money to show a film that the guy gave him of how Anas prepares for his documentaries. So he goes ahead to show it. He called it Who Watches the Watchman. Upon the video being shown across the country, many people get a very different view of Anas. At that time, we took upon ourselves to investigate Anas's social media page. And we saw the significant drop in posts that Anas was making after Kennedy Japan began to show it. And we compared with other people, and they all came to the same conclusion. Anas got worried that the Kennedy Japan thing may be affecting his image. It was going international, it was going local, it was going everywhere. And people who were normal people, the unsuspecting public, were beginning to see that maybe there's some truth in what Kennedy is saying. So they began to pay little attention to Anas. Anas Aremeyaw, feeling that problem, then files a writ at the High Court in defamation that Kennedy has defamed him based on the film Who Watches the Watchman. Kennedy shows up in court. You heard him saying that he won't go to court if Anas won't take off his face, blah, blah, blah. Kennedy shows up in court, and then the judge rules. And the judge makes Anas. When Anas files the writ in court, Kennedy then decides to go for the defense of justification. So if you tell me that I'm a ready, okay, maybe if I roll it will come. Okay, so this one, no, okay. Anas contended that the judge displayed bias against the loyalists. Okay, well, let me do that. Anas contended that first, and then I'll come to this one. So just bring me that one so that people can follow properly. Anas contended that, yes, correct. It says Mr. Anas contended that this judge displayed bias against him and unfairly criticized his investigative methods, made pronouncements without any evidence backing same from the case before him. Mr. Ken Japan countered, asserting that any party to a suit could petition the blah blah blah. Okay, so this is the main thing. Anas contended that the judge had been biased against him. Now, why did Anas say the judge had been biased? Let's see it. It's going to come now. Why did Anas say the judge had been biased? I believe, is it the next one? Okay, this is it. This is the judge speaking in the case, the trial judge. He says, quote, the president and the prime minister who the plaintiff and his team had targeted, president of Ghana and prime minister of Cote d'Ivoire, who the plaintiff Anas and his team had targeted, are leaders of their nations. They embody the soul and spirit of